Hey, my name is STIX and welcome back to your weekly bite of MMORPG news, a video series where I go over the latest news, pre-registrations, test phases, juicy drama, everything that mattered in the MMO genre over the course of the last week or two in one very easy to digest format. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the little bell notification, that way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post a lot. Additionally, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my STIX Clips channel if you can't get enough of me. Otherwise, let's just jump right in because we have a lot to talk about. Beginning with Evercraft, which rolled out their official alpha test on April 2nd. This is a game that MRSSSTIX has actually been playing for the last couple days, or at least she was for the first couple days. And then as of the last couple days, she has been having immense difficulty, like 5 FPS, constant server downtime. It has not been a great experience, but the first day or two was significantly better. The game seems very interesting. If you haven't already, consider signing up, trying to go ahead and get in yourself, test the game out. This is, I believe, one of, if not their first alpha test, and it's honestly not half bad. It's not great, but it's not half bad. Pax Dei's upcoming 100,000 player alpha announces server info to help groups and guilds plan. Their second alpha test is coming, dubbed the Wilderness Alpha, and is kicking off on April 23rd. It's gonna house up to at least 100,000 players, and it listed how they're gonna organize their servers so that testers can plan where and how to link up with their friends and guilds, which is always useful to know. NCSoft officially at their investors meeting decided to announce completely out of nowhere that Guild Wars 3 is not only confirmed, but already essentially in development, which is, that was unexpected. I don't think anybody that I know anticipated Guild Wars 3 being announced in such a way, but I am very excited nevertheless to not only cover it, but also to potentially get into it one day. Palia reported that they were hit with layoffs affecting roughly 35% of their entire studio, which is always disappointing to hear. Palia was highly anticipated by a lot of people, and unfortunately it underperformed to an extent. It didn't achieve the success that people were expecting, but 49 staff members were laid off in total and are now jobless, looking for work. I mean, this was an attractive looking game. This was a game that I was very curious of. MRSSSTIX did a video on this. She had a lot of fun in it, but ultimately it couldn't achieve what it set out to achieve, and as a direct result, they had to let people go. Now, before we continue to discuss any additional games, let me take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot thank you all enough for the support. Now let's keep talking. The Quinfall is holding applications for their second closed beta. The applications will be closed on the 10th of April, and they've released several new videos in anticipation of that test phase. If you're interested in playing it, I'm not personally, but I mean, I might still cover it. I don't know. DOFUS Touch officially launched as of the last couple days. This is from the developers of Wakfu, of Wayfinder, of the original Dofus, a tactical strategy MMO. I covered it. I streamed it the entire first day. I had some fun in it. If you're interested in learning more about it, I do have a dedicated video I urge you to go ahead and check out. Alanon, which is a game I thought was absolute horseshit when I played it, is coming out once again. There's an invite-only alpha test coming, and the game is releasing sometime in 2025. So alpha this year, full release again next year. This is apparently a complete overhaul of the game's entire art assets. Alanon was not a pretty game. When I played this, there were a grand total of 2 players online. Those 2 players were my sister Wiggy and I. I don't know how or why they're doing this other than money. Age of Water is officially launching on April 18th. Age of Water, of course, is a water-themed MMO that actually carries the potential to be kind of interesting and kind of unique. It's an MMO that hasn't really been done before, and that's kind of cool. Additionally, The game is launching onto consoles as well, which, as they state, is good news for console fans. It turns out it'll be released on the PS5 and Xbox Series XS consoles on April 18th, alongside the start of early access on Steam, which is great. Evercraft, the EverQuest Minecraft MMO, is showing promise. Apparently, they're planning a test period on April 19th. I guess if you're interested, then sure, by all means, go ahead and apply, maybe participate in it, see if it's worth your time. This is the first time I think I've ever even heard of it. Throne and Liberty is finally holding another global closed beta test, which means we're inching ever closer to the release of not only Throne and Liberty, but also Blue Protocol, which cannot release until this game does. Unfortunately, it does turn out that this is under an NDA, which means no one can talk about it, we can't discuss it, we can't share images, we can't share videos or anything at all. Again, it begins on April 10th and runs through April 17th. That means that the closed beta will run for an entire week and we still won't be able to share or showcase anything at all, which is incredibly disappointing. Because all I want to do is play the global version and show you guys what it's like. But I can't do that. Astronuts beta officially launched onto Steam and admittedly did pretty horribly in its first few days, but it seems to have kind of balanced a little bit more, gotten a few more positive reviews, so it's no longer mostly negative. Now, it was mostly negative due to the, I believe people were claiming monetization that was too similar to Genshin's, but instead where Genshin actually gives you some currency as an earnable resource in game. From what people mentioned, Astronuts beta did not, and were not nearly as generous. And Genshin isn't even known, really, for its generosity. Sky Children of the Light is officially launching into early access on Steam as of April 10th. This is a beautiful game. Seriously, this is an MMO that was first brought to my attention by Cry, an old MMO friend of mine. He told me one day, STIX, have you played Sky Children of the Light? Because this is one of the most beautiful MMOs I've ever played. And I was like, no, I've never even heard of it. So I went, I downloaded it, I played it, and I was like, holy shit, dude, you're right. Now, MRSSSTIX played a little bit of their test just the other day. She had a lot of fun. She had to stop herself from playing so she doesn't burn out, so she can actually play it when the game releases on April 10th. And yeah, I'm really kind of looking forward to it. This game is releasing on April 10th on Steam. Noah's Heart, which is an MMO that claimed they reached, what, 7 million pre-registered players, is officially shutting down on April 29th, 2024, to the shock of absolutely no one, because even when MRSSSTIX played it to do a dedicated video on it, she only saw like 4 people. The game was dead. There was no way there were 7 million people playing, maybe 700, sure, but not 7 million. Questmaster's Realm just launched onto Steam. This is a real-time action combat MMORPG. Costs $7.19 right now. Apparently, there are 4 user reviews. Well, I count 5 here. Positive, positive, negative, positive, negative. I guess do your due diligence before going ahead and testing the game out or purchasing the game to test out. Tyus Land opens pre-registration as it nears official release, but no, the launch is not June 15th. All right, approaching official release. Pre-registration is now available on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and our official website. Signups are on both PC and mobile. Apple lists its expected date for June 14th, but apparently that's just a placeholder date. I'm curious to see how this is received by MMO players, because I played it, and honestly, it was better than Perfect New World, but not by much. And Perfect New World I thought was kind of bad. Abyss Online is officially launching onto Steam on April 18th, 2024. I have a video on this. I strongly urge you to go ahead and check that video out before going ahead and requesting access to this, but purchasing the game. I think that it's purchasable. I don't remember the exact pricing. Do your due diligence before even investing any time into this game. Seriously, just watch my video on it, and that should hopefully guide you in the right direction. And finally, Gran Saga Global is finally coming. According to the official Gran Saga website, Global is coming soon. But is it too late? It's been 4 years since it launched in Korea and like 3 or 2 since it launched in Japan. Who knows? I'm still excited because this was one of the MMOs that were coming around the same time as Genshin and Tower Fantasy that I was looking forward to. Now, that is everything that happened in the MMO genre over the course of the last 2 weeks that mattered to me. None of this is of any interest to you, though. Absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now. There might be more up your alley.